It's just preparing the live stream for me, it's telling me. Okay, I need to press a few more buttons there, which I'm not sure. I could hear myself back talking, which means it did something, and it said something like, it's just preparing the live stream for me, and I heard that twice. So I'm going to pre-record to make sure that I can get it done properly, and then we'll go on air. Here we go. I thought I'd get clever and it'll all work, but technology does that. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, actually, I can see something happening here in the background. It's got live on YouTube and recording, so we might be doing it both. So good evening and welcome to Real Time, Real Topics. I am Nikki Simos, and here in this wonderful platform of Real Time, Real Topics this evening, and we are streaming live to you from all of north of Mitchell Shire region in Victoria, Australia. And we're joined by our co-host, Patrick Bleem. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you, Nikki. It's a pleasure to be here.
And of course, we're joined by these two amazing individuals, and now my dog's popping in, and that's okay too. He might decide to pop his head up and say hello. His name's Archie, but we're not talking to Archie this evening. We're talking to the lovely Matilda scorer. Good evening, Matilda.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us this evening. And the wonderful Christina scorer, your beautiful mother.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us at this late hour on a Wednesday evening on Real Time, Real Topics. We're very excited to have you on our program this evening, Matilda, because I have to tell our viewing audience that you are one amazing, first of all, individual young lady who does so many things for the age that you're at. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you, first of all?
I'm 11.
And what's... Yeah, and when's the big 12? When do you get off that double digit of ones and go into the 1-2s of 12?
In December.
Wonderful, that's exciting. And what school do you go to?
St. Patrick's Primary School in Kilmore.
And you've been there since prep?
Yes.
And so you've enjoyed the journey at the school?
Yes.
Why do you like going to St. Patrick's then?
I have a lot of my friends, obviously, and I really like the teachers and all the students there.
And what about some of the programs that you do at your school for learning? What are the ones that you are engaged in?
There's a STEAM project which I am involved in, and there was 2 students from each class submitted to it, and basically we do little activities. People come in and we do little activities, and one of them that we did was to plan and build a hut that could be used for people that had survived the tsunami, that they could just pop up and sleep in until they build new homes.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to build it out of cardboard and plastic screws. And if we did a good design, then we could have got submitted to a bigger competition, and that plan could have come true, and it could have been used for some tsunami survivors.
How amazing. What a great project. And what was the span time of that project from when you started to when it ended?
About 4 hours, and we got a break in it.
Oh, that's good. Was the break a long break?
Half an hour.
That's it. Oh, wow. Better break. A little bit of half an hour is a good break than no break, they say. Hey, very good. Now, Matilda, you're not just a very clever girl at St. Pat's Primary School. You're also an inspiration, I would consider, to many young people like yourself in your age group, if not even adults, actually, if I may say. You do some wonderful art And I had the privilege of coming across your art in your father's accounting business, which I do my accounts with your father, being Andrew Scorer, the accounting in the North region. A little bit of a plug there, and that's okay. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Although I know he's at capacity and suggests that, you know, he's happy where he's at, but never mind. He's more than happy to help, I'm sure. And one of the pieces that I came across was this amazing, amazing piece of art of a tree. The reason why I was attracted to the tree is because for me, the tree represents many, many things. And obviously, the roots of the tree being, you know, where they're rooted. So the seeds of where something sits in as a foundation to grow from. And then the trunk of the tree being its body, which is quite firm and steady in this case. And then, of course, the leaves and the tree as it blossoms and it grows. And when I look at this tree, for me, it gives me the idea of a gift of life, because the tree has the natural oxygen of giving and representing a gift of life for others. And I'm a bit of a tree hugger, and people think I'm a bit mad, but that's okay. And
So
then
am I.
Patrick's a tree hugger as well, so we can go and hug trees all day, I'm sure. So this is what attracted me to this particular piece, but there is more to this piece than what the eye sees, and I'd like you to explain to us the purpose of why you do the art pieces that you do, first and foremost.
Well, reason I do them is it makes me feel calm and less stressed, and just gives me a break from school and everything else. So, for that tree piece, I find trees really calm and settling, so that's why I did it.
Fantastic. And in regards to saying everything else, so your life is very busy with other projects other than the art you do.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I also play basketball, and that takes up a lot of my time. So, yeah, that's another thing that I do.
So your art is a good way of releasing your sense of being able to feel calm and in a moment of not having to think because of the busy things that you have to be thinking about on a daily basis. So it helps you slow down the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so that would support your mental health and your well-being, right?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. And so, Christina, if I may ask you, being the parent of this amazing individual, what was it when Matilda said to you, Mum, I want to do some art? You know, how did you come across that idea from, and how did you receive that idea? More importantly, because she hasn't told us why she does it yet, other than for her own well-being. But what was the other reasons? Perhaps you can share that insight with us.
Well, it actually started during COVID. She, because she was learning from home, she was finishing her schooling a lot earlier than a normal school day, and so she was looking for a hobby, and she decided that she would have a go at painting. So we needed to give her some space for that, because you actually do need quite a lot of space for all the paints and the easel and the chair. So we have an outdoor area which is covered on 3 sides, and we decided that was going to be her area for painting. And then, of course, we just went to the local store to purchase the paints out here at Treasure Hunter here in Wallen. And her uncle is a carpenter, so he through his carpentry work, he's left with a lot of smaller pieces of laminated wood. And so we asked him, rather than throwing them in the bin, whether she could use those to do her painting. So she wasn't just using the canvas that we purchased from the shop, she would also be using pieces of wood. So in a way, I guess we were recycling.
Yeah, fantastic. What a great concept.
Put in the bin. Yeah. And I think she got the easel. We bought her the easel for Christmas, not last year, but the year before. So she could actually use it, which was a really good thing, because sometimes you set them up and they just sit around until you're ready to go. But it actually did get a lot of use during that time.
So what a great way to use COVID time of isolation and being able to put that into practice with art. But my understanding is you also had the opportunity to raise some funds for charity and sold your pieces. So tell us a little bit about that, Matilda.
Well, we had been doing the Variety Brats Bash for already 2 to 3 years. So I was familiar with that charity and I really wanted to start selling some of it. And I decided a great place would be at my dad's work because I didn't really have anywhere else. So I decided to sell them there, and to do it for charity would be a great way to raise money for the Variety Brats Bash for our car because each car raises money. So that's how I decided to do it.
Excellent. And tell us about the Variety Bash. It's a nice little segue into the next thing I'd like to ask you. And we will come back and visit some more of your pieces there in a moment. What is it? What's it about?
It is, you can help me with this as well. It is basically about 20 cars that go forward driving and stay in a different place each night or two, and we raise money for Variety, which is a charity that helps disadvantaged children.
You've explained that very well, Matilda. I don't think Mum needs to add anything more unless she'd like to. Mum, so you've done one recently?
Yes, we just came back from the Brats Bash. They're usually held over the Easter school holidays. And the reason we were involved in the first place is because Andrew, my husband, and Matilda's father spoke to some friends who are involved with the Brats Bash, and 3 years ago, 3 years ago, they were going to Cuba Pedy for the Brats Bash, and Andrew has always wanted to go. Actually, it was 4 years ago because we missed out last year because of COVID. So 4 years ago, the destination was Cuba Pedy.
And also my brother Jacob wanted to go to Cuba Pedy before that, and his friend that goes to school with him and plays basketball, he must have been talking about it, and he said, oh, well, my family does this thing and we're going to Cuba Pedy.
Okay, so you thought it could be a joint effort to go with the other family and go together as a drive. So you ended up going to Cuba Pedy then?
Yeah, well, the Variety Brats Bash, each car has to raise obviously a minimum amount of money, and that is for disadvantaged special needs children in Victoria. So Variety is located in each state around Australia. And a lot of people have heard of the Big Bash, the Big Brats Bash, where it's geared for adults, not for families, and a lot of excuse me a moment, I've just got this on my screen. A lot of the Big Bashes have to travel in very old cars that they do up in a theme, and they travel to very far places within Australia. But the Brats Bash is geared for families to spend time together in a car with many other families, and we each have a theme as well. And so we raise money for this charity, and we go along and we basically spread the word to a lot of country towns. So we go
on back roads.
Yeah.
And we visit a lot of different places. A few years ago, we actually visited a school that there were only 3 students at because it was in a town far away from anywhere else. So there was only 3 students at the school.
Actually, you could say it was out the back of Burke because it wasn't far from Burke. Yeah, so we visited this particular school. So we do go and if we can during that time, because it is school holiday, so it can be very difficult. We do try and visit schools as well. Yeah, but they're very much into the country towns and visiting the smaller towns, and all the kids come out, all the families come out, and they check out all the cars because they're all done up, and we normally wear a costume. So our family is the basketball family. Although this year it was the magical mystery tour, so I decided to go as something else. So my family was basketball, and I was Paul Stanley from Kiss.
Oh, wonderful!
the magical mystery meant that we didn't know where we were going each morning, so we had to guess, and then we got the trip note. So we didn't actually know, but Mum did because she was on the committee. But we didn't actually know where we were going, so we just followed the trip notes.
So Matilda, I have to ask you, how does this add really great quality time for you and your family?
Well, we obviously spend a lot of time in the car together, but I'm not really sure. That's a hard question to answer.
That's okay. How can you help out with the answer to that question,
Oh,
Christine?
but we did spend a lot of time in the car together. But funnily enough, there weren't that many arguments, which is normally the case when I'm in the car with the whole family for hours on end. We take a lot of breaks. So we travel these country roads. We go out the back roads where there's a lot of dirt roads. But we stop for a lot of breaks. We have a lot of activities that we get the children to do. We visit, so in our last trip just recently, we concentrated in Victoria because of COVID. We visited the Catalina Museum at Lake Boga. So there are a lot of things that we do along the way. And once we come to a stop, all the kids are out of the car, nowhere near their parents, spending time together, whether it's at the playground that we find or somewhere the kids seem to sort of get together and do their own thing, and then the adults do their own thing. But we're in a very large group. There were 60 of us this year. So we kind of just all look after each other.
And so just going back to that question I had about quality time with family, the importance of that, how important is it that you're spending time with your family in this journey?
Oh, very important, because it is a family run event, and you get to do things that you wouldn't think about doing, and you get to travel to places that you wouldn't probably choose to see on your own. But when you're with a large group and it is it's planned, so there is a lot of planning in the background, you get to see and talk about so much that this country has to offer. And you also get to speak to a lot of people who come over and say, oh, why are you guys dressed like that? What is it with the car? So people will come over and want to know what we're doing and where we've been. So it's a really good way to meet so many country people as well, because country people do seem to be quite isolated in a lot of these areas. So it's really good to travel to these towns and meet these people as well. And also, go out to dinner at these places, know that we're supporting them as well.
No, fantastic. So it's kind of a win-win. Matilda, you had something to add there?
Yeah, we also once went to this town that was so small that it was far away from any big town, but it only had one family that had a pub and a caravan park. That was all it had there. It was just that in the middle of nowhere, basically.
And so how did you find that experience for yourself?
It was good. But that also in one of the places in the pub they had a room where there were all different stickers and names on the wall. So when you went there, you could write your name on the wall or something. So
put your business card. That's William Creek.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of William Creek.
Fantastic. And so I guess this also opens opportunities for learning for you, Matilda, like for geography, for example, or, knowing about areas that you wouldn't normally potentially learn about in a classroom. Yeah, fantastic. And so do you keep a journal entry or have photos, or how do you keep this information, if not stored in your head, something that you can look back at and refer to down the track?
We do. We take a lot of photos on the events, and we also have one of the family's mums is the photographer for everything. But I know that my sister usually keeps a diary entry for every holiday, so she has a lot of that stuff as well.
Fantastic. And so, Patrick, you're hearing this young lady speak for the first time.
I absolutely am.
Yes, and so I'm very keen to hear what you're thinking at this present time. 11 years of age, travelled with family for ongoing tours, having an opportunity to showcase some art, which we'll see some more of it in a moment.
Absolutely.
But also the age being the significance here at 11, having inspiration and potentially very young entrepreneurship skill sets.
Absolutely.
And how that is instilled in Matilda. So what are your thoughts on that?
Firstly, I think it's just absolutely amazing that what you do is for a really good cause, and to be doing it and raising money to try and help disadvantaged families or disadvantaged people. And for me, when I talk to young people, not all of them care about helping other people. And I was wondering what it is about, what it is that sort of sparked your interest to try and help people that maybe are a bit less advantaged than maybe we are.
I think I'm not really sure. I think I sort of just want to give back to the community. I know we've also part of Variety, we've donated a bike to a disadvantaged person.
That's right. They have, that's one of the events that they have once a year.
You donate, how much was it? $1,000 or something, and they get bikes for disadvantaged children. But also the kids there are also really grateful. I know I got a card that said thank you so much for the bike after we gave it to them. So it's also a really nice feeling.
Because they organise presentations, so a family will actually give across the bike to, and you will meet the child and the family that you're giving the bike to.
Yeah,
wow.
It's just wonderful. Yeah,
that is fantastic. And so when you think about giving back to the community, Matilda, why is that important to you?
I think it's just the mindset I have. I just want to give back to the community.
Okay, how lovely. What a big heart for a little girl. Now, please do share some more of your wonderful art behind you. I can see one that's directly behind you. Is that one of your latest pieces?
The one that's at the top or the bottom?
Which one of the two is the latest piece?
Latest piece is probably the one on the... Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring that on?
And so what was it that, what have you got going in that picture?
We've got a bunch of different paints poured on it, and then I moved it around. So.
Fantastic, fantastic. And is this one of your favourite pieces?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously I put work into it, but it's not really very meaningful to me, compared to some of the other ones.
Have you got some there that are meaningful to you that you'd like to share?
I don't know if I do. I've got some other ones here. I've got this one here, which is sort of like a desert, and I put quite a lot of work on that. But it was actually sort of online. A lot of people were doing that type of style, so I tried it out, and I really like how it turned out.
No, it's a great one. And do you have names for your art pieces?
I do name them stuff when I sell them, but I've forgotten what some of them are.
No, that's okay. That's fair enough. No problem. And so are you still selling them at your father's workshop?
Yes.
Or your father's accounting services, should I say?
Yeah. And then I've also got this one. This one actually took me a while, obviously, because it has a lot of stuff in it. But I really like this one because it's also meaningful to me because my dad actually helped me with some of it, so that was good. But yeah, I like this one.
Where do you get your inspiration or your ideas from, Matilda?
Most of them come actually from online because I watch a lot of other people do art. So I know I've got one in my painting area, which was a portrait of someone. And that was actually one of my favorites because I've never tried that style. But a lot of it's from online pieces.
Fantastic. And so do you have any favorite artists that you like to see or view or be inspired by?
Not really. I follow this one girl that's Her name's Shelley, I think, but I really love her work, and a lot of mine is based off her work.
Fantastic. And so with all these pieces you now have got, what is the ultimate goal for you?
I'm not really sure. I hoped that one day I could eventually get one of my pieces into an art gallery. And I know we were also thinking about, there's a local cafe in Kilmore called, I forgot what it was called, but Dad was thinking maybe we could submit one of my pieces there because they've got an art gallery upstairs. So I could submit one of my pieces and maybe they would show it upstairs.
I'm sure they would if you asked them. I think that would be great. I actually think that it'd be wonderful to have a little youth art expo in our community at some point anyway, and that could potentially be the beginning of something that you could establish for people in the community, Matilda. You know, we know that the Mitchell Multicultural Community Association will be having an art exhibition later on in this year, and we would certainly welcome your artwork and pieces to be displayed for purchase, of course, and definitely something that we would encourage for people to be involved and included in. So I guess the next steps as far as your project work goes, or what other things that you're thinking about working on or doing, what's the next direction for you, do you think?
I'm not really sure. I want to start to try to make some sort of clay stuff.
Okay, so
I
some
would like to
pottery
try
stuff.
that. Yeah, I would like to try that, and that's about it.
And Christina, would you join in that type of work? Is that your thing?
No, I'm not the creative type, so I'm happy for Matilda to do that. I'll help wherever I can.
So you're ready for some more space in your area there, because clay can be a little bit messy.
Well, it can, but I'm happy to just clear out the painting area. So maybe we can pack that away and put the clay in there instead. Look, that's fine. If it's on the decking, I'm sure it'll wash away.
It's got to be done when it's
I
fresh.
think, you know, if you're going to be creative, though, you've got to be messy. So
Absolutely.
you need to remember, you can't keep these spaces clean because you need to express your creative streak. Therefore, you need to do what's required in order to do that.
That's exactly right.
I also have one of my favorite pieces. Do you mind if I go get it? It's
Absolutely not. It's as quick as you can be, not a problem. And while Matilda is doing that, Christina, just tell us the importance of encouragement for young children in our community and projects that they should be working on, especially when it comes from a place of passion.
Oh, look, definitely. We have 3 children, and Matilda being our youngest, and we've always encouraged our children to have a go at what they think is that they think they like. So you don't know what you're good at or what you might like unless you give it a go. So Matilda has tried piano. She's tried dancing. My oldest daughter is not sporty at all, but she loves her dancing. So she's done that since she was in kinder. She was also part of the OKR FM radio program while she was in high school. She was part of the Mitchellshire Youth Council. So we've always, but she's I guess she's a little bit more outgoing. So we kind of encourage. I try to encourage my children to try something and not to give up too early, and just to have a go. And if it's not for them, then that's fine. You know, don't sort of keep pursuing it unless you do like it. But sometimes you don't know what you will like until you actually try it. Wow. So we do try to encourage them to try everything if we can, and if we're able to take them, because it can be a bit of a burden on parents to take their kids everywhere, but they're only young for so long. You know, so we try and do as much as we can without overburdening them, because that can happen as well. So that's why Matilda does a lot of basketball. I think she's at basketball probably 4 or 5 days in the week. But she really likes it, and she's getting better at it, as is our son. And so he's excelling in his basketball as well. But if they do want to try something else, then we'll give it a go. I think she's about to start football as well. She hasn't played it yet, but she has trained with Wallet, and I know they had a game on the weekend, but she was at a basketball tournament. So there's another game. But again, you need to budget for that as well. So you need to think about all that.
Absolutely. So some good key indicators there. So the idea of budgeting what you can, when you can, fitting it into your schedule if you're able to, because of course you two work full time, and just finding the time to do these extracurriculum activities for our kids after hours. But more importantly, not overdoing it, because, there's only so many hours in the day, and having that quality time, and in this case the Variety Bash being a great cause for bringing people and family together is a good way to do that. What would you say to parents out there who might be listening, who would be thinking, boy, this is all too hard, too much, I don't have time for any of that, I just let my kid do whatever they want to do? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's fine, assuming that you will support them in whatever they do. I understand that a lot of parents can be time poor as well, but I think for me, it's actually important to get our children off the screens and onto the streets. I remember in my day, I used to, even being a girl, we used to play footy out on the road. We used to play cricket out on the road. There's a lot of things you can do out there where you don't have to spend a lot of money as well. So you just kind of got to get in there with the community. I'm sure there's a lot of community notice boards. When I was young, when the kids were young, I wanted to take them to playgroup because I thought it was important for me to be around other mothers and for the children to start interacting with each other from a very young age, because I think it makes them a lot more sociable if they start doing that. And also if the parents are there to support that, I think that's important too.
Definitely. And I could see thank you, Christina, for that insight. So Matilda's come back and very quickly organised herself with her entry there. Matilda, what would you like to share with us as we're finishing up our program this evening?
This is one of the first ones. It's some mushrooms. Did that one's pretty nice. I also did this one, which is a hill with some birds. And this is my first ever self-portrait. I tried to do one. I actually quite like it for my first time. So
that's fantastic.
I like that. That one looks beautiful.
And then we've also got this one. That's really big.
Oh, okay. Different shades of the same colour. I'd be interested to know what you were thinking when you were painting that one.
I was actually following a tutorial to do this type of side. So yeah. You can do it.
I really do like the colours that you use in all your paints, very vibrant and bright, and it certainly expresses. That's amazing. Yeah, fantastic.
That's beautiful.
Great work. Fantastic, Matilda. That's really good.
Yeah, and then what did also mean to me was this one, because can't really see, but dark purple mountains, but that sort of I did that because me and Dad, before COVID, me and Dad were planning to go to see the Northern Lights. So yeah, that's what inspired me to do this one.
That's fantastic, Matilda. That's really great. Sorry, Patrick, you were going to say something.
I was going to ask Matilda if she's been to the the art gallery in the city.
No, I've never been there.
You haven't been?
No.
Yeah. It's something you might absolutely love, because you can walk through this giant big building and see paintings that people have painted from all around the world. And the styles are different, and like some of them are small, some of them are huge. And it's just, it's really inspiring to see just how beautiful art can be.
Definitely a day trip for Christina and Matilda to go out, I'm sure, one day. Matilda, is there anything you'd like to share finally as we're coming to the end of our program for the viewing audience with relation to your art and potentially how people can access your pieces of work, where they can get it from, and knowing what charity they would be supporting if they did?
Well, you can get it from my dad's work, which is Wallen County and Taxation Services. And then what number is it?
18.
18 Commercial Drive in Wallen. And you'll be supporting Variety, the children's charity, which is supporting disadvantaged children and children with
Fantastic.
disabilities.
And I know that they're extremely affordable prices with the art pieces that you have there, and certainly every penny does go to a great cause. And we thank you, Matilda, for your wonderful contribution that you do for giving back to others and supporting people with disabilities in this case. We definitely need more people like your mind thinking in our community, especially at your young age. We would love to have you share some of your artwork in future, and we welcome and encourage that to happen. And Christina, any final words from you this evening?
Well, thank you very much for asking us along. It was great. It's a good experience.
It is our absolute pleasure. I mean, this is all part of the, I guess, support in developing young entrepreneurs to share their insight, their wisdom, their knowledge, their skill sets, and also to support that public speaking and social connections for themselves to grow personally and potentially professionally, even at this age. So we thank you, Matilda. We thank you, Christina. Patrick, any final words from yourself?
I was wondering what if Matilda has any ideas what she'd like to be when she gets older.
Some things that I want to be is a vet or a teacher.
A vet or a teacher? Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, go on.
And I was going to say, and with drawing trees and lots of nature pictures, and I know it's not about art, but I wonder how you feel about things like climate change.
Well, I do try to do my part for the environment, but I'm not really sure how I feel about climate change. We're actually doing today a persuasive text about if you think it was man-made or, man-made or if it was natural. I thought we had to write about, but I reckon it's both. I reckon, I'm sort of on the fence with this one.
Okay.
Well, you asked the question, Patrick.
I did. I was just interested.
Well, I think it's wonderful, and I think it's great that we have again young children at this age thinking about the potentials of what next in their thinking about future. And not too distant in the future, but certainly things that can make a change and a difference for others. And in particular, in this case, we want to support young entrepreneurs as young as they can be, and allow that opportunity to explore that space and grow in that space as well. So again, thank you to both of you this evening. Wishing you all the very best, and we look forward to supporting in any capacity we can with future artwork that you offer in support of charity organisations as well. So thank you, Patrick, once again. We've managed to get through another program this evening, which is fantastic. We look forward to having your lovely presence next week on Real Time, Real Topics. It's going to be a great program. We will be thinking and speaking about homelessness next week again.
Next week, okay.
So it would be a great opportunity. We're speaking with Josh Wilcox, I think, from One Voice, and a few other people are lined up for that one. So that's going to be a great program. And thank you once again, ladies. Good evening and good night. And thank you for our viewing audience.
And thank you for sharing your beautiful artwork with us.
And thank you.
You're welcome. All the best, guys. We'll see you
Keep
again.
warm.
Thank you. Bye-bye.